Today's Chiefs Report is presented by Manscaped. From head to toe, the best men's grooming products can be found with Manscaped. All you got to do is go to manscaped.com and use promo code CHIEFS. That promo code going to get you 20% off plus free shipping at checkout. It's Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. My name is Harrison Graham. Coming up here in a little bit, could the Chiefs go out and get Jadeveon Clowney after losing Charles Omenihu for the first 6 games of the season with the suspension? We'll explore that a little bit later on in the show because I think the Chiefs probably need to go out and get somebody. But first, let's get to some camp news and notes from today here on a Monday. Michael Dana, he returned to practice after missing about a week, maybe 10 days or so, with a calf injury. Andy Reid announcing today that he was back on the practice field, which that's a good sign, right? Usually when you see calf, you're like, oh, man, that calf strain could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it could be a month, but probably just meant it was more of a sore muscle type of situation or a very low-level strain. So nice to see Michael Dana get back on the practice field as, like I said, he missed about a week or so. And let's be honest, he just became a lot more valuable than we once thought Michael Dana did. This is a player who was a 5th-round pick a few years ago. Wasn't really high on my radar at the time when the Chiefs drafted him, but he's done a pretty nice job of being a fairly impactful player for this football team. Michael Dana, in 3 seasons, has 10 sacks. He had 5 of those sacks this past year, a couple of forced fumbles for the Chiefs. So I'm excited to see what he can do this year in a contract year. But with Charles Omenihu suspended for 6 games, which I already mentioned, his value becomes even higher because when you look at this depth chart, Michael Dana is maybe your second best edge rusher right now for who's going to be available week 1. Obviously, you have George Karlaftis, the first-round rookie from last year, but with the Omenihu sideline, with Felix Anudike-Uzomah as a rookie, Dana is important. He is a valuable piece on this defensive line, regardless of Omenihu's status, but it's even that much more valuable now that Omenihu is set to miss 6 games. His value is higher than it's ever been. His role is probably greater than it's ever been in his first 3 years as well, and he's coming off his best season. So this is an opportunity for him to get out there, perform, and perhaps earn a contract from Kansas City or from another team this offseason. So good to see the calf thing wasn't a major issue and that he was back out on the practice field. Now, how concerned are you with the Chiefs' defensive line right now? Because obviously Chris Jones is holding out as well. You talk about guys being banged up. You have the suspension with Omenihu. Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not concerned at all, 10 being very concerned. I'm at about a 6 or a 7. I mean, you got to be at least a little concerned, especially as long as Chris Jones is out. I'll put it this way. If Jones doesn't play week 1, it's at about a 28 out of 10 because he makes the whole thing go. I want to get to some injury updates beyond Michael Dana here on today's show. A few notable names still remain sidelined with those injuries at practice today. Here were some of those players here. Jody Fortson, who's been dealing with a shoulder injury. He did not practice. Sneed dealing with a knee issue. And then Kadarius Toney, who had that knee procedure after the first day of training camp. He remains out, and his status for week 1 is very much in doubt. He says he's going to return, but Andy Reid admitted that that may not be the case. Now, Andy Reid did mention that Sneed is improving, that he's getting better. They want to keep that swelling down, which I don't really know what that means. What's he implying there? I mean, is that a lingering issue that's going to be there all season? Is that just a recent deal? I'm not sure what to make of that. You never want to deal with someone who's got a swollen knee all the time because that's obviously not ideal. It probably just means you got to limit how much they practice during the season. Sneed is a very important member of this secondary. I mean, he had 108 tackles last year. He plays downhill quite a bit, lining up in that nickel spot. Had 11 breakups, 3 interceptions, 3.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. I mean, he's one of the dudes that really can take the football away from opposing offenses, so you certainly want him out there. And with Najee Johnson already out for the season with an injury, Sneed, you can't afford to lose him too. Like, you need him out there, bottom line. The good news is you do have depth at this position. You have 4 starting caliber corners in McDuffie, Watson, Williams, and Sneed, of course. but that doesn't mean you want to lose another one. You want to have as many bullets in the chamber as you possibly can. They simply need him healthy for this season. He is top 3 defensive player on this team after Chris Jones and probably Nick Bolton. He might be right there. Now, I think Trent McDuffie could elevate this year. A guy like George Karlaftis could elevate this year. But L'Jarius Sneed's been one of your best players on defense since he entered the league. So hopefully he gets healthy very, very soon. As far as I'm concerned, I don't need to see him in the preseason. Just be ready to go for week 1. Shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring today's show. 20% off with code Chiefs at manscaped.com. And as summer is ongoing, you want the perfect package, right? Because that's when you have a chance to date around, have some fun. Well, the performance package is going to help that be the case. And part of the performance package is the Lawnmower 4.0, the best ball hair trimming product on the planet. The performance package comes with the Weed Whacker, the Lawnmower 4.0, boxers, ball toner, ball deodorant. Some of the benefits of the Lawnmower 4.0 are that it comes with 4 adjustable guards. It comes with a wireless charging station. It's water resistant. You can use it in the shower. It's a great bundle. You can get a huge discount, just over $100 with promo code Chiefs. And really, it's more than 20% off, because if you buy all these products separately from Manscaped, you'd spend like $150. So take advantage of the deal. Manscaped.com, promo code Chiefs. That link and promo code are in the comments and in the description of this video. It's Manscaped. Your balls are going to thank you. All right, you want a Chris Jones update? So do I. There's really nothing new here. I mean, Andy Reid was asked about it once again today, but he gave the same answer he's given for, a week and a half, 2 weeks now? So he doesn't know. Doesn't know when Chris Jones will show up. Didn't have any further comment on any potential contract discussions, so he leaves that stuff to Brett Veach and stays out of it. Now, I'll maintain my stance. The Chiefs need Chris Jones, period, end of story. We've shown you guys the defensive line. If you don't have Chris Jones, that's a problem. Like, you're especially defensive tackle, but across the defensive line, I mean, you were just very, very thin if he's not out there. Like, this isn't a Tyreek Hill trade situation where it's like, all right, it hurts to move him, but you still have Mahomes and Kelsey and some other guys on offense. You lose Chris Jones, like, your defense takes a massive hit for the upcoming season. So hopefully this gets resolved, but as of now, no update from Andy Reid. If Chris Jones signs, we'll break it down. Like I keep saying, subscribe, turn on those notifications here on the Chiefs Report. Hopefully that deal gets done before week 1, because if not, things could get a little bit ugly between the Chiefs and Chris Jones. Charles Omenihu, of course, has been suspended 6 games. He will miss the first 6 weeks of the season for violating the personal conduct policy. Andy Reid did say today that they knew the suspension was coming. They just didn't know how long it would be or when it would drop. So it's almost better that you find out now, right? Like, you'd rather this suspension be weeks 1 through 6 than 6 through 11 or something like that. I think the Chiefs need an edge. Like, they really need to go get an edge rusher now. I thought there was room for them to sign another edge rusher anyway, but I really think this is an area you've got to address if you are Brett Veach. I know the salary cap situation is tight, but there are ways to clear that up. Should Kansas City sign an edge? What do you think? Type Y for yes, or you can type N for no. I certainly think they need one. What say you, though? Y for yes, N for no. Should Kansas City go out and get an edge rusher? And the guy I think they should go out and get is Jadeveon Clowney. He's the best edge available in free agency still. And there have been recent reports that while the Bears ended up signing Yannick Ngakoue, they apparently were interested in Clowney. The Panthers apparently were interested before they landed Justin Houston. You look at Clowney's past 4 years here, things did not end well in Cleveland last year. And I know the raw numbers don't look great for the Browns last year. Obviously, he had a better year in 2021 with 9 sacks. The sack production has kind of come and gone throughout his NFL career, but something he's always been very consistent at is as an edge run defender. I mean, his grades for that have always held up, and his pass rush grade was actually pretty solid last year at around 70 per PFF. Still had 29 pressures, just didn't get a lot of sacks. I still like Clowney. I know there's been, reports and maybe he's not the best teammate, this and that. I would just trust Andy Reid and his culture and the leaders on this team that you could bring a guy in like this and that it would be a fairly seamless transition. You need players on the defensive line. Clowney's the best one out there. Period. End of story. I think that's how you have to approach it. Now, as far as what a deal could look like, these have been the recent edge deals. Ngakoue got 1 year, $10.5 million with the Bears, $10 million guaranteed. Justin Houston got 1 year, $7 million with Carolina, $6 million guaranteed. I mean, would it come in between that? I think Clowney, has a little more value than Houston, probably not quite as much as Ngakoue. Maybe it's like a similar base as Houston, $6 million guarantee with incentives up to 8 or 9, maybe $10 million, maybe something like that. And look, right now the Chiefs can't pay that. They don't have the cap space. But if they extend Chris Jones and lower his cap hit this year, they'll have plenty of money. Just another reason why they need to get the Chris Jones deal done. I think the Omenihu suspension needs to really kind of light a fire up Brett Veach's ass in this when it comes to this stuff, because you want to go into week 1 with Dana and Karlaftis as your edge rushers. That's not ideal. I mean, Felix Anudike-Uzomah, I like him. He's a first-round pick, but you want him to be your first guy off the bench or perhaps even starting? I don't know about that. I think you need to go get someone if you're Brett Veach. If you want the Chiefs to sign Clowney, type me down below. Chime in. Let your voice be heard. I think Clowney to the Chiefs makes a whole lot of sense. They need one more guy on that side of the ball, and quite frankly, I think he'd play pretty well here, especially playing next to a guy like Chris Jones, who you hope comes back for the regular season. So type me if you want the Chiefs to sign Jadeveon Clowney. Hit that subscribe button if the Chiefs sign Clowney. Like I said, we're going to break it down for you guys. If they extend Chris Jones, we'll do the same. Regardless, we're plugging out videos every single day. And we got our first watch party of the year on Sunday against the Saints in the preseason opener. So you don't want to miss that. Subscribe and turn on notifications.